And now while we get the stage ready for our next session, which is our second panel of the day on digital wellness, rethinking workplace health in a connected world. While we get the stage ready, and it will be my honor to invite the honorable panel members and the knowledge leaders. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a esteemed honor for me to invite the panel members for the next session on digital wellness, and please help me welcome them. Joining us first, and please help me welcome with a big round of applause, Mr. Rajesh Bangera, Head of HR, Operations and Digitalization, L&T Finance. Rajesh ji, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next, Mr. Chakrapani Atmakur, Senior Vice President HR and CSR, Mahanagar Gas. Chakrapani sir, welcome to the panel again. Please have your seat. Joining next, Mr. Amit Prasad, CHRO from Hettich, India. A big round of applause to Amit ji. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. Joining next, Mr. Vinod Razdan, Senior Vice President and CHRO from Gabriel, India. A big round of applause to Vinod ji. Vinod ji, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next, Mr. BALASUBRAMANIAN SETHURAMAN, Head of HR from Parekh Integrated Services. A big round of applause to BALASUBRAMANIAN ji. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. Joining next, we have Mr. Ryan Singh, COO and co-founder of Loop Health. A big round of applause to Ryan ji. Ryan, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. And our honorable moderator, ladies and gentlemen, for this panel, Mr. Uday Ghag, CHRO from Alkyl Amines Chemicals. A big round of applause to Uday ji, our moderator for this panel session. So Uday ji, you have a very esteemed panel, full panel of 8 esteemed panel members, including you, and a full house of audience. So I'm looking forward to a fantastic session. All over to you.
Good afternoon. So I think since morning you all are here. And then we had one session from Aparajit on the wage code. Very much interesting and very hot topic of the current days. And I'm sure that each one of you must be really worried. What are these wage codes?
Have one more esteemed panel members which we would like to call for this panel. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for our next panel member, Ms. Savita Pisal, CHRO from Shapoorji Pallonji Company Limited. A big round of applause to Savita ma'am. Savita ji, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat, ma'am. All over to you, sir.
So really, I'm glad to moderate this session on the topic digital wellness, rethinking workplace health in a connected world. And we have a very distinguished panel. You have seen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. If you take 25 years of experience, 25 years of experience, 150 plus years of experience in HR, the panel is bringing here. And certainly, I think this session will be a really informative session. And myself, I had been in this HR, or rather I will say HR and IR profession for last 39 years. And when I started my career, there was nothing like digital to chhod do, wellness bhi kuch nahi tha. Wellness bolo to kya tha? Only thing, since I started my career in a chemical industry, we had an occupational health center. Anyone who gets injured was treated. If required, sent to some hospital nearby, depending upon the gravity of the injury or whatsoever it is. But I was really fortunate. The company I worked, it was really a progressive company. It was Gerda Chemicals. And at that time also, I'm talking about 1988, we were thinking about wellness. See, when we say wellness, it's not only the physical, but the mental. When we talk about health, it's not the physical health. Yes, physical health is important, but equally the mental health is also important. So we started thinking on mental health, wellness also of the employees, and we had not a full-time, we had a full-time MBBS doctor who was AFI, that is Industrial Health Certified, but then we used to also call twice in a week a doctor, MBBS doctor, and who was also a psychologist. So that from that time also we started giving some importance to this thing. And subsequently when the things are moving, we could see how this wellness, physical as well as mental health, is important. So instead of wasting much time on that, I think let's hear from our audience also, our panelists also, how they feel on this thing. So my first question goes to Vinod. In your experience, what are the top early warning signs of burnouts that organizations often ignore?
So, thank you so much. My name is Vinod Razdan and I am from a company called Gabriel. I think the program should be more focused on the people who are traveling every day in Mumbai. There should be a wellness program for them as well. And thankfully, we are into suspensions. I'm sure you might be having a comfort drive because we are across two-wheelers and four-wheelers. I'm sure you are able to have a comfortable drive on our suspensions. So it is very difficult question, I will say, but I will try to answer in my own way with my own experience. The organization are looking at this wellness from the wellness perspective. But I would say that it should be looked at from the operational perspective. What we ignore? This wellness or outburst is not all of a sudden. I think it is the accumulation. And there are signs of accumulation, there are signs of those outbursts which happens across the organizations. But HR or the managers just wait for the emotional outburst of those individuals. That is the biggest mistake that we do. I think somehow, we need to look at some of the operational indicators, how they are getting impacted. For example, the decision making by the managers gets deteriorated. When I say deteriorated, it takes a backstage, decisions are not being taken well on time, or there's a passing the buck which happens in the organization. There is more conflicts which arises in the organizations. There are debates which starts existing in the organization and decisions get derailed. The second important thing is the innovation, the creativity also takes a backstage. People are no more interested in those. Now these are some of the indicators which I see in the organization, and organization looking at those things ignore, and we always blame the employee. That employee is not either performing or he is going under some different challenges and he is not able to fit into this culture. Now we all are responsible for creating that kind of culture where that wellness is important. I think looking at those operational indicators is the most important thing, because at the end of the day it is going to impact your performance indicators of the company as well. So that is my take on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod. Now Rajesh, taking this forward, what Mr. Vinod said. So what is that type of data which is more useful in predicting these burnouts?
Thank you. Let me begin with very simple. I always tell in my circle, बेटा झूठ बोल सकते हैं, डेटा झूठ नहीं बोल सकते. And trust me, there are a lot of data. We as an HR, we hold a lot of data. And I don't remember when we actually sat on the data and tried to analyze on the data. We started doing this a couple of years back. One of the thing which we came out like, we have, let's say, Mediclaim insurance, data. Every year you have 100% claim ratio, 90, 110%, so much things. So we identified that, there are some things can be sorted, like gastro, infections, those all things can be cured, or this can be proactively something we can do, and we can actually reduce your, insurance costs. and we identified that, and what we did is, we onboarded a partner, a partner who, because we have a health checkup also, so a partner who will take care of post health checkup. But even if you observe that after health checkup, majority of them don't even consult doctor. You might be at the borderline, people just ignore at it. So we said no, all health checkup people have to do, and once they do, there will be an hand holding. There will be a doctor consultancy, there will be a follow-up, which will be done by this partner, so that it can be taken care before it gets converted into an insurance claim. So this is one of the big things which we did 6 to 8 months back. Recently, we did an analysis on the accidental deaths. We are into a micro loan business, finance company. We are majorly into tier 3, tier 4 cities. And we observed, the accidents. When it is happening, what is the time frame? When is that? Which is the region? Which is the city? So we went into depth, and we have come out with a solution for that. Because what happened? We just say, "Arey yaar, accident hai, apne control mein nahi hai." But there are some things which we can do. We do understand some things are not in control, but something which can be controlled. Like last year, we distributed more than 25,000 helmets to our employee. Okay, this way we are planning to do more things over it. So what I'm trying to say is that as an HR, I think just spend, I would say just hire an intern. Just give him this work. And today's generation, trust me, are super intelligent. Super intelligent. Just ask him to play with the data, come out with, pointers which you feel, don't just paint him. Just give him his liberty. Trust me, he will come out with all the things that you want. And then it's your responsibility and duty how you take it to the leadership team and get that implementation. So that's where it is. So I mean, my suggestion to everyone, please, on an every frequency, visit to this database. There are a lot of things, and this will improve a lot of things. Performance, absenteeism. You can have wellness metrics also in place, so that it will give you a benefit. Trust me, that's what my thought is.
Yeah. Very well, thank you. Coming to this, Ran, one question to you. Like, now we have spoken about the data and the burnouts and all. How realistic it will be for AI to understand an employee's mental load and recommend the breaks effectively?
Sure. Can you hear me? Yes. Raise your hand if you use any kind of like AI pulse tool now in your company. A few, yeah. Maybe there's some vendors, and after this event there'll be more hands. But I think, see, before, what would an HR do to understand signs of disengagement or burnout? You would kind of have to be with the people. HRBPs would have to get all those data points and touch points by having those one-on-ones, conversations, floor walks, right? But that kind of ignored their digital engagement or disengagement. I think this whole new category of AI listening tools and pulse tools, I think Infido has a tool called Amber, which a lot of our clients have used lately. But I think that's the kind of thing that, without having to speak to every employee, you can kind of monitor Slack usage, emails, et cetera, and understand engagement or disengagement. So I think, I don't think it's a question of if it's possible. It's happening. I think it's more of a question of adoption. And I definitely think that there's a bunch of applications to AI in healthcare adoption, largely driven by insurers, TPAs, brokers, et cetera. I think one is, many of us have probably hopefully experienced faster claims turnaround times in the last year, because a lot of the TPAs and some insurers have implemented AI in their document reviews for reimbursement claims, right? I think that's a very great use case. I think at Loop, so we're a benefits broker. We work with companies like Loda, NASDAQ, Zepto as their kind of end-to-end broker and healthcare partner. One of the things that we did, we employ about almost 90, 100 doctors in-house who chat with employees of our clients. So a Zepto employee or their wife or children could consult our doctors, catch up with us at any time. And the idea is, how do we enable our doctors to do more than they were able to do before? So before, they would do a video consultation and write a prescription and say, hey, you need this medication for the next 2 weeks. Now what AI enables them to do is correlate their symptoms with their previous claims and give that doctor even more information to say, hey, I think your father actually had a heart attack 2 years ago. Let's actually make sure that we do your annual health checkup this year and be a little bit more proactive. So it actually reduces some mental load for my medical team to be able to do these kinds of things. And I think the last use case is exactly, I think, what the example you brought up about annual health checkup. A lot of us, who here runs an annual health checkup today for their company? Raise your hand. Yeah, I would expect more hands. That's great. So I think we usually celebrate, when the PDF report is shared and to say, hey, 1,000 employees, 1,000 PDFs have been shared, and we're good now. We did the health checkup. But I think exactly what you mentioned. So I think AI plays an amazing role today. Whether we like it or not, our employees are uploading those PDFs in ChatGPT because they need to understand what the report is saying. So what we did at Loop was basically every single PDF report after diagnostic test, it has a AI-generated care summary and basically a debrief of your report so that you can take the next steps and consult a doctor with some insights, with some intelligence. So I think it's happening. I think there's lots of use cases. It'll become more and more mainstream over the coming months.
Good. So when talking about AI and how it has come, so now in the market, there are many wearable things, to monitor the health. So my question to Mr. Balasubramanian, so how mature is this wearable technology for workplace wellness?
Thank you so much for this question. Okay, how many of us like to be tracked on our attendance? Anyone? What about the check-in? Leave the biometrics. You have an app on your phone and you just want to do a Google GPS check. Is anyone okay with that? But when you go to a doctor and the doctor says your heartbeat is not functioning properly, you have a pressure problem, you need to go, you need to validate it, you need to reduce your weight, you need to count your steps. What do? Go to a noise, go to a boat, pick up one 2000 ka watch and wear it. And for 1 month, we are very consistent in checking our steps, heartbeat and everything. After 1.5, 2 months, life is normal. Ho gaya, we are done. I think it's all to do with habits. So for all of us sitting in this room and as leaders, I think one thing that works and one thing that doesn't work is the culture of the organization. So if the culture of the organization is going to be behind you to check on, I'll take an example of this health checkup. So we usually do not share the reports with anyone because that needs to be private. But the employee is always skeptical. Is my report going to be published? Am I going to be questioned? You have a heart ailment, you have a blood pressure, you have a auditory issue. So we just need to be very sensitive because as a country, we are still not sensitive about these well-being tips because हमारे यहाँ पे well-being बोलो तो पागल. Well-being means, wellness means we go with one step, that is mental well-being. And mental means we assume that it's going to be that. I think that's not the case. It's got to do more with how the reporting manager takes care of your engagement, how you are engaged with your team members, and how these variables can be of use to you based on how you are being questioned or you're being allowed to use it in a very comfortable manner. So variables are a very good tool to help us use the data, but beta can also be wrong. Along with the data, beta feeds the wrong data. So I think I'll go with that as well. So if you feed the wrong data, you're going to wrong output. So it's very important for us to validate the data. I think where many of us go wrong is when we see a problem, we want to just go and do a firefighting and get a quick resolution and we want to move on with it. I think that's when we need to work as leaders, as employees and as the middle managers. The people who actually get sandwiched between the leaders and the employee is the middle management. I think the wellness, well-being, education has to be there, and any supervisor who's there to support the team member, they need to also have that coaching mindset to ensure that you get the right output. So if I have a problem, I'll come to you and say, hey Ryan, I have a problem, the moment I say I have a problem, he'll say, okay, what do I do? Are you going to be on off? Do I need to give your workload to someone else? Or if I go and if he gives me a comfortable situation to just speak myself out, I think life becomes easier. So I think variables are important, but we need to know how to use it.
Very much. My next question is to you, Mr. Amit. So taking this forward, in this this changing world, we have a lot of anxiety, isolation because of the work culture which has been changing. So what are the biggest unintended consequences of all this anxiety, fatigue, frustration, and how it comes? And
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, let me extend my greetings to this organizing committee and giving me an opportunity to speak in this panel. Thank you. Now, the question that you asked me, it is important to understand the pretext of that question, that what exactly we are talking. Well-being is something that we need to address it holistically. And when I say holistically, one thing we tend to miss little bit is that well-being is a two-party. When organization is involved and employees are also involved. I have observed that couple of times we try to bring the culture of little bit of generalization, wherein a uniform policy, uniform initiative is applied to all the employees, right? So that is something that we need to be little careful. And technology, digital tools are important to gather the insights, and those insights are enabler. Let's first accept digital tools are enabler. Digital tools cannot take away the basic role of HR, that is empathy. Right? Now, once HR performs and do a empathetic conversation with any of the employees, and we arrest any of the signal that we absorb in any of the employees, these things will not come. Day by day, the nature of the organization is little decentralized in nature, right? Across India, our employees are spread. Then one thing that comes into the picture is that how are we bringing this entire piece, the awareness part, to the reporting manager, wherein everyone is informed that this well-being part is very, very critical. One department, people of 10, 20 people will not be able to address it holistically. Everyone will have to partner it. These issues that you mentioned, anxiety, frustration, these things are very normal. I'm sorry, but these are quite obvious nowadays. It is happening. And why it is happening is that all of us are into this digital phase, but nobody is telling us where to stop, right? How to take it. So there is a word, it is called conscious use of digital tools, which is very important for everyone to understand that where to stop, when to stop, how to use. We need to start using digital tools intentionally, not unintentionally, which is the most important part, right? And how this will come? This will come through awareness, communication, informing them, talking to them, because nowadays this entire team members of any organization is very young, right? 25, 26, 27, and this is going on. So it is very important we address it holistically, try to arrest and identify these signs important at early stage. Another thing, these are, let's talk honestly, these are stigma. That is also clarity. If any of the employee, if somebody is going and saying that you are with anxiety problem, nobody wants to hear it, and nobody wants to hear it publicly. That is the last thing. So how empathetically we are addressing this thing, how empathetically we are going and respecting the confidentiality and personal privacy from HR side, that also creates lot of this credit, you know. So let's address it holistically, and it has to be converted into a campaign where everyone is participating to address this issue. Thank you.
yeah, but rightly you said, because you know it's like if we say anyone that you are having some mental issues or some challenges, it's a stigma, and then the role of the line managers or the colleagues comes into play, because see, HR cannot go everywhere and see अरे किसको क्या issues है. It has the line manager, you know, immediate supervisor who is there, or the colleague who has to just share with the HR that I feel that is something differently he is behaving or something. You know, it's not necessarily this maybe at a result of his work pressure also. It may be something at home also, some family challenges also. So if he brings to the notice of the HR, then yes, HR can intervene. Yes, again, then HR has to use his different skill set, how to bring him to the doctor whom we have engaged, and arrange a counseling for him, and just see that, you know, right type of advice is given to him, so he comes out of all these challenges what he has. It's really good. Savita, I have one question for you. Now you are with Shapoorji Pallonji, and you have Pan India, you know, people working all across the projects, you know, spread over, and mostly I think you must be having contract labor also. So what are the challenges you are facing in these areas?
So thank you so much, and firstly a very good afternoon to all the leaders who are present in this room, because you are going to shape the future of the work. So I'm really delighted to be here. A very relevant topic, and the distinguished panel that is there, some of them I have always met in different forums and had a pleasure to hear from them. Coming back to your question, sir, yes, I represent an industry which is a very hardship-oriented industry, brick and mortar, a nomadic industry, where we have to deal with a lot of labor related workforce. Currently our staff strength is around 25 to 30,000, and labor is another 40 to 45,000. So our challenges are very, very different. When I look at it, in terms of, if I look from labor point of view, the data whenever I assess is the suicides at the labor camps have increased drastically. So as you rightly said, that the challenges need not only be on a work front, also a lot of from a personal aspect, and it's not a norm for people to come across or share. There are not so many platforms, the counseling sessions, so organizations need to do that. That is one of the challenge I am personally grappling back at work. I'm trying to put across a mechanism so that I'm able to reach out to all those 40,000 workers or provide some platform. We are doing something on a pilot basis with few projects, few regions, but it's not a success yet. It's a huge challenge, and personally, I'm very disturbed by the fact any suicide that comes to my notice, I have a sleepless night. Trust me, because it really bothers me that what would have made the person actually take his life. And if I look at the data, those are very young people. They are in the age of 25 to 27 max. So they have not even started their lives. In the early beginning of their lives, they are not able to handle the challenges. What will happen, when they actually get married, have children, grow in their careers. So that is, I think, one of the main problem. When I come back to the corporate offices and the regional offices, post-COVID, I think, and all of us are facing that, our digital presence, the requirement to be available has drastically increased. The data shows that the meetings have increased by 160%, and at the same time the productivity has gone down by 40%. So we really have to go back and think that what is it that while being available so much, and also earlier the 9 to 6 or 9 to 5 norm has changed, now it is 24/7. Organizations are expecting more visibility in the organization. Those are being even incentivized. So as an HR, we have to go back and look at what are we doing, what are we actually rewarding going back at work. I think the bigger question here to ask is, are we creating high performance organizations, or are we creating high pressure organizations? I think I'll pause over here. Thank you.
Really good. Taking this same thing forward, Mr. Chakrapani ji. So this technology is a part of way of our life. So I want you to understand from you whether this has improved the well-being, or it has whether created some mess or challenges for us.
Certainly I can say that it has improved. Right from industrial revolution till today, AI days, if you say technology has increased human performance and decreased the dependency on physical performance of the human being, which is itself is a great thing. So coming to the technology use and all, there are two sides of the same coin. If I say, you have to travel to Delhi, you could not travel, you can still join the meeting online. You are attending a marriage, you get a call from your boss, there is an urgent meeting, please join. You get stressed up. All the fun is gone. What will be discussed in the meeting, you don't know. So it is working both ways. One point I wanted to make, somebody asked me, sir, you tell so many things that technology has improved and all those things, then still why the stress levels are going up? As per the new generation, or as per some of the people's view. My answer to that was, it is not that stress is going up. It is because you people are increasing the stress. Because our food habits have changed. Irregular food habits, quality is compromised and we are not getting into nutritious food. Number 2 is that we stopped exercising. A physical activity, if you notice, will decrease your mental stress. Run for 2 kilometers, you will understand that there is a endomorphin that is secreted in your blood and you will very, very happy. So when technology is improving, it is actually helping us. What we are not helping we are not helping ourselves. We have to live in the olden days and live in the modern days. That means you have to adopt the lifestyle of what your forefathers adopted. Take the advantage of technology, live in the, and then enhance your quality of life. That is going to be important. Fortunately, when I go to a gym and all, I see a lot of Gen Zs are in gym. The millennials, they are absent. So there is an extreme that generation X is exercising for their health. Gen Zs are going, they are very conscious. Compared to my son, my daughter is very conscious. Papa आज protein नहीं घेतले. For her, eggs means protein. So this is how the children are growing up. So certainly I say that use technology. Technology will improve your work-life balance and all those things. And coming to our own Mahanagar gas, we have introduced many systems in which we are using a lot of technology, this thing. Probably we may not be the best, but yes, our employees are less stressed because of that. Targets are very stiff, and we are working in a city like Mumbai, where gas is a very inflammable substance. We have catered to almost some 22 lakhs people, that is almost like 1 crore of the population. We have to take care of them without any, what you call, incident and all. You can understand how much stress it causes to our own operations and maintenance team. But we conduct engagement activities, we involve them, and Uday, if I have a couple of minutes, can I take? See, Mahanagar Gas is not a government company. Just let me tell you, it's not a PSU, it's a private company, but it is promoted by GAIL. When I joined the company, somewhere in 2020, there was a question of sick leave, what we should do with. Then I told that the accumulated sick leave, beyond some point, should be encashed. Then the NRC, that is Nomination and Remuneration Committee, who approve all these things, they asked me one question. In most of the companies, sick leave encashment is removed, and here you are doing other way around, you wanted to introduce it. Then I told them only 2 things. One is that if you have a sick leave, which is as good as casual leave, employees tend to take it as a casual leave on Monday to enjoy the long weekend. They will get a headache on Monday. I don't know why Monday gives a headache. And bosses get irritated on Monday. Both happen. So such tendency will come down. So it will increase the productivity. Second thing is that employees will keep their health well, because when they know that the sick leave is encashable, they do not want to unnecessarily fall ill and utilize it. With this logic, the NRC approved the sick leave encashment in my company. This is what I want to tell, is that you need to innovate every time where to enhance employees' well-being. Indirect benefit I got is that I have got less sick leaves now compared to what it was. This is what I wanted to tell, and I think this is an excellent event organized by Cenex, and fantastic gathering I could see, very attentive audience. Thank you very much. Over to you, Uday.
No, thank you. Ran, one question for you. See, now in this well-being technologies, many companies are investing, but it comes from it's a challenge to, how we convince our owners or the board, to go forward in this and take this forward.
Yeah, I think this topic of return on investment is important. I think one thing is that a lot of HR teams don't have a clear ROI in mind at the time of searching for a vendor or making the purchase. So I think first is knowing what is the point, because I would argue that a lot of the wellness programming that we do at our companies is the goal is not improving health outcomes, it's actually just increasing employee engagement, right? Doing a talk about cancer is not going to, for your employees, is not going to impact their parents' cancer claims at all, right? If somebody's been advised chemo, but they needed oncosurgery, that will show up in your claim. So I think let's be realistic and real about, are we just trying to engage our employees, and which is fine, right? I mean, nothing wrong with that. But if we're really trying to show real outcomes in some of these investments, let's say a mental health platform or some AI platform for pulse checking employees, or a virtual benefits tool like the one Loop has, I think you have to, there's a bunch of gold standard metrics, right? The gold standard that we all want to achieve is reduced claims, right? It's very difficult to do that unless you have a control group and experimental group at your company. So let's try this. Let's give half of your employees benefits and half no benefits, and then see what happens. We're not able to do that, right? I think there's no way in the same year to actually see that. But what we can see is something slightly upstream of that, which is for, say, really high-risk cases. Are we doing any interventions, like for cancer? Are we connecting those people to second opinions where we know that their treatment has changed? A single correct treatment which prevents future 2 or 3 claims from happening, right? That's a clear savings of 3 or 4 lakhs. And generally with our broker partners and insurance partners, 3 or 4 lakhs is the negotiation at the end, right? That's what we're fighting for. But if we can really even just change the course of a single cancer diagnosis and have that diagnosis come earlier with the right kind of opinion, say from Tata Memorial Center, which is a pilot that we've run, I think that has a very clear ROI where you can actually put a number to it. The other thing is around absenteeism, but again, it's very hard to know, was this just a better year? Do I have a different employee mix, right? But I think something that's very easily implementable for all these people who raised your hands and said, we do an annual health checkup. You have your data from last year, you have your data from this year. You can actually, yourselves with an intern or with your benefits partner, look at that data year on year and really see, is the proportion of people with HbA1c, is it going down? And if most of the employees are the same at your company, you can actually see year on year, for people who had high HbA1c last year, has that actually come down through any of our programming? So I think, again, the data is all there. Hopefully it's from a good lab and the data is correct. Usually it is. But I think that's something that can easily be implemented, where you look at before and after annual health checkup results. I think that's something that CXOs would love to see and really understand.
Now my one question open to anyone, like we have in the organization like safety policy, security policy and all different. So shall we have, or does anyone have a policy on wellness? Or what is, suppose if we go with that?
So let me answer this question. We started this wellness program during the COVID, because I'm sure all the companies started that. As one of my panel members rightly said, wellness means pagal, wellness means half pagal, I don't know. It is still a stigma. We spend lakhs of rupees, but unfortunately we were able to find only few people going for the counseling sessions and all that, because still people are afraid, people are scared that it should not be leaked out. Even though we had given a confidentiality, taken sessions, awareness sessions, we have given a confidentiality agreement to each one of them, but still it has not worked. We spent around 50-60 lakhs for complete 2 years, and then finally we closed. We recently did one more survey that this wellness program was started, and do you still think that we should start it again? I was surprised to see 90% people said yes, we need to start it again. But who is going to really go and take the advantage of that? I'm not sure. Is it again spending 50-60 lakh rupees more and ending up no ROI on that? Is a question.
Yeah. So I have a little different take. I think instead of having a wellness policy, we should have a wellness culture within the organization, and that has to be driven by the top leadership. And here I think HR plays a very crucial role, because you are going to coach your leaders You're gonna probably highlight them where they're going wrong. You have to guide them, and that will help a big way. What I am trying to do currently is probably this year itself, we have started a talk series driven by our leaders, where leaders are coming and sharing their passion. Okay, the first session we did by our CEO, where he spoke about his passion for marathon and how he, he ran marathon and completed it in 6 different continents in spite of the busy schedule. So here, when on a stage a CEO is standing, people know he's our leader. People know he's the one who has a packed calendar, the kind of responsibilities he is handling. So if he can do it, why can't I? And I think having a passion, having a hobby is also a very important thing, which will help you disconnect from a lot of these digital tools and also from your professional environment. So that is something we are doing. Then slowly we'll talk about families, we'll talk about on health, but when the leaders stand over there and they speak and they share their life stories, and that inspire the people. So I think something on those lines, if organization can do, it will really, really help. And I think it's not just upon the organization and the leaders, also as a manager, the role when we play, we also need to set boundaries. When in the evenings or maybe late evenings or on weekends, when you pick up a phone and talk to your colleague, do you first apologize? Do you say, hey, I'm extremely sorry to call you on your personal time. There's something urgent that I need to need you to address. Or will you be in a position to do it? Can I really ask you for that favor? Does it come within from you? And that's the kind of behavioral set in. And of course, then as an individual, what kind of behaviors we are setting, because that's also going to get replicated and become a part of the culture. When we are in meetings, in spite of no notifications, how many times our hands go to our mobiles and we just keep on checking. There is no notification, guys, still we keep on checking because we have got so wired. Another initiative that we do in our office and whenever we are doing trainings, and this is very interesting to see, even if there's an intervention of 3 days, it could be the senior most leadership in the room. First thing, I make sure they all keep their mobiles aside. We create a table. The first person to keep the mobile aside is the senior most person, even if it's a CEO. When I did that initiative 2.5 years back, I had to convince my CEO for 25 minutes. And I had to tell him that, look, if you don't do it, the team will not do it. So moment I announced, you should be the first one to get up and keep the phone aside. And he was like, but Savita, we can't do this. But you know what happens if something like that happens? And I said, nothing will happen. And you know what? On the 3rd day, he stood there and he said, I thought my life will end when Savita told me to do this. But let me tell you, I was at so much peace. I was fully present in these 3 days. I connected with each one of you. And it was a similar feedback by almost all the participants. So I think we have to start creating these things, innovative ways back in organization. And without taking too much of time, I think what is happening is we are just talking about digital wellness. We are forgetting the impact it has on our cognitive ability. And because of that, because every single disruption, it takes 20 minutes for your neurons to come back to that focus. We are all forgetting that. And as an individual, as an organization, it has an ability on your creativity, it has an ability in your intelligence, it will have a longer term impact when you want to have innovations. So, the matter is not at a very surface level, it's deep rooted within. So I think one of the panelists said, we have to bring that change, we have to have that lifestyle. I think we shouldn't be late beyond this to start that, because what we do will also be inculcated by our children. They are watching us. So we are not just responsible for the current leadership and the current workforce, we are also responsible for the generation that is going to follow us. So we have to set it by our behaviors and the way we showcase it. Thank you so much.
So I'll just add on to what Savita just mentioned about culture, wellness culture, which is very important, and how HR plays an important role. I think if HR is a part of the business, if HR knows the business, life becomes easy. Especially I come from a services domain, wherein our impact on the customer experience needs to be on a very higher scale, internal, external. So I need to be ensuring that my internal customers are also happy, and the same goes with the external customers, because if an escalation comes to the business, they're going to just push it down to HR. Because of HR, people are not there. Because of HR, people are absent. So we usually keep having these checks on the floor. My team goes onto the floor every day, wherever it's physically possible and wherever it is remotely possible. We do a 10-minute check on a day-to-day basis in terms of how things are going, what's happening, especially to understand the root cause of the absenteeism. So there could be only two basic ones. One is the person is not interested to come to work because he wants to go for a family outing. Two is the person is fatigued or stressed out because the person was working for 24 hours or 18-hour shift. And usually the reporting supervisors do not tell you the other side of the story. They just come back to and say, oh, this guy's not turned up. What kind of a recruitment you have done? So to counter that and to ensure that we are all on the same page, we usually do these checks to educate the reporting superiors and the business, because at the end of the day, every one of us are humans. Yes, we need to have digital to help us to take things forward. But if you're human and using the artificial intelligence, it's going to make us a better organization and a better place to live in.
Yeah, you asked one specific question, whether you have wellness policy. I think other panel members answered very well. I can say with a few data items. Data man is just me. In my company, we have stay fit policy, in which general manager and above category employees can enroll in a health club or a gym, get the reimbursement of the amount approved by the NRC. Similarly, we have a marathon policy, which is inbuilt in that only, where any employee of any level, including a GET, can go for a marathon in a year and get a reimbursement of 10,000 rupees on the kit. And there is another disjointed policy, where it is a part of the leave policy, where we, out of the 30 earned leave which employee gets in a year, 5 years to consume it compulsorily. And dovetailed with it is a holiday home policy, where employee is supposed to take whatever the eligibility he has that and travel outside the Mumbai, at least for a couple of days, and can submit the bills and get the reimbursement. So there is a person cannot say that मेरे को छुट्टी नहीं मिला, boss cannot say that छुट्टी नहीं दूंगा, has to take 5 days leave, has to travel out of Mumbai, come back, get the reimbursement done. And we also have annual medical checkup policy, which is again extended to the retired employees also in this company, and where we track the health of the even retired employees. We encourage them to go, because in the old age, see, unfortunately, couple of cases came out only after retirement. It is very unfortunate. But it is very important that employees, even after retirement also, should be encouraged. I am not talking about resignation cases, I am talking about retirement cases. People who stayed with the company through rain and shine and worked with the company. These are all the things which I can recall by my memory. Thank you.
Before we conclude, I want any questions from any audience. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Uday. That was actually a very fascinating conversation. I mean, it was so interesting. My name is Ram. When the topic was about digital wellness and rethinking workplace, I actually thought the conversation will gravitate towards the fact that workplace definition has changed since COVID, and the concept of digital wellness has actually come in, quote unquote, in a big way post-COVID, right? So interestingly, that didn't come up, and I have this question to anybody in the panel here. Have we actually got the equilibrium of how working from home or working from office has to be? And I know it's different in different industries. Brick and mortar is different, and a technology firm could be different. The fin services firm could be very different. But do you think we have got to that stage where we are at the equilibrium of how things are going to remain going forward, or you think it's still in a discovery phase as it has been in the last many years? Open to anyone who wants to answer this.
I think the moderator can decide.
So I'm from manufacturing. So manufacturing, definitely it is a challenge because we have to be available on the floor. We have to produce the part. Maintenance team has to be there. Quality team has to be there to check the product. Even though we had been struggling in retaining people, the day this work from home policies have come across the industries, when we go and try to hire people, पहला question ये आता है hybrid working है क्या? Work from home है क्या? So that is where we lose some of the talent, good talent that from the market. But Obviously, we are still in the discovering phase. I'm not sure how much more years it will take for the manufacturing industry.
Yeah. So I think this hybrid model is definitely is something which is a way of life, because we are NBFC, so we have a lot of frontline employees, and we have the new generation which is coming in because we are heavily investing in tech. So the tech people are reluctant. Was 5 days a week? What is this 5 days a week? 6 days? It comes out. So as an organization, way forward, I think there will be a policy variance. That uniform policy is not going to work for every way forward. So you'll have to have that, maybe a functional specific policy where some tech was okay, as good as the productivity is there, as good as they are delivering, because no need to come into the office. You'll have to get the hybrid model in place, because I personally feel working from home may give you that comfort, but from health perspective, actually, I don't know how many you'll agree with me. During COVID, we used to just be on that sofa or on that dining set till 8 hours, 9 hours. You're getting your tea over there, you're getting your breakfast over there, you're getting your food over there, and you're not even moving. And any Tom, Dick, and Harry is inviting you at 7:30 for the Teams pay. Ting, ting, ting. They are thinking that I'm just sitting for him only. So. I don't have my personal life. So I think it's all about this, and you should have a hybrid, because coming in the office and working gives you thoughts of idea, interaction, and it helps. I think how we positioning it, that will be more important than HR. You'll have all these people, saying ye chahiye, wo chahiye, but actually it's our role. How are we going to positioning it? If you're going to position it effectively, and are we really flexible, agile to look at, function-wise specifically, it's the need of the hour. Do we have to amend it? Yes, we have to amend it. Then we have to go with it. So I think that's the way forward it's going to be. So don't be surprised. I have been in my past where all business will have same policy. Sabko ek hi hona chahiye. But no, today the world is evolving, so things are going. So yes, that's how it's going to be way forward according to me.
Thank you so much, honorable panel members. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this panel deserves a great round of applause. Fantastic panel session, and. See, thunderous round of applause as well, and we have a full house audience, we have a full house panel. I think this is going really fantastic. So thank you very much, honorable panel members, and I would request you to kindly be on stage for a few minutes, and I would like to call on stage Mr. Yatin Chaudhary, Zonal Head Client Service from Western Department of Aparajita Corporate Services. Jatinji, if you could kindly do the honors of felicitating this great panel here. We'll start first with Mr. Rajesh Bangera from L&T Finance. A big round of applause for Rajesh ji for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Mr. Chakrapani Atmakur from Mahanagar Gas. A big round of applause to Chakrapani sir for his wonderful contribution on the panel. Moving next to Mr. Amit Prasad from Hettich, India. And we have a big round of applause for Amit ji for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Mr. Vinod Razdan from Gabriel, India. A big round of applause for Vinod ji for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Mr. BALASUBRAMANIAN SETHURAMAN from Parekh Integrated Services. A big round of applause for Mr. Sethuraman for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Mr. Ryan Singh from Loop Health. Big round of applause for Ryan for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Ms. Savita Pisal from Shapoorji Pallonji Limited. A big round of applause to Savita ji for her wonderful contribution in the panel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our honorable moderator for this panel, Mr. Uday Ghag from Alkyl Amines Chemicals. A big round of applause, Uday ji, for fantastically moderating the session and also for his valuable insights. And now, honorable panel members, I would request you to kindly step forward for a group photo, and Yatin, if you could also join them.
So I think one more question everyone forgot to ask, when to send the CV to him, because all the possible benefits he has in his life. Yes, and everyone would have tagged him on LinkedIn, I'm sure. Yes.
Fantastic. I think that's how it should be. Full house audience and a great panel session. Compliments all round. Thank you, wonderful panel members, for your valuable insights, and thank you, audience, for your full house support.